How's it going, guys? This is SoulSinge, and today I wanted to talk about how I believe Smokepurpp has one of the saddest careers in rap currently. Now, Smokepurpp has been trending some recently because he's been on tour, and to call his tour a disaster would be an understatement. Now, this whole conversation started when someone posted a video online of them at a Smokepurpp concert, and it was at a small venue, and there were maybe 15 to 20 people there, which is honestly pretty horrendous considering how relevant Smokepurpp was just a couple years ago. I mean, I would say Smokepurpp was relevant from 2016 up until 2019 when he really fell off hard. And to see him barely managing to get 20 people at a show is honestly kind of hilarious, but also kind of sad. I'll play the video clip for you guys right now.
My niggas scammers and robbers, yeah, every day hit like the dollars. Double my checks in the water.
I filmed how it was going. So as you can see, not many people there at all. And before I really get into what I really want to talk about, I just want to talk about this one reply to a tweet. I saw someone tweeted the video, and someone replied saying, "Hey, not everyone can start off at the top pulling in these big shows." So this person didn't even realize that Smokepurpp was a rapper who was already relevant. They were thinking that Smokepurpp was some new up-and-coming rapper that just started making music, which is kind of hilarious, but just really shows how far Smokepurpp has fallen off. Because, well, think about this. Smokepurpp was relevant maybe 3 years ago. Hell, 4 at the most. And if people have already forgotten your existence this quickly, that's pretty bad. Now, I can understand if Smokepurpp was a rapper who was relevant like in 2010 or something and fell off in 2012. I could see newer rap fans now not knowing who this guy is. But Smokepurpp was relevant in 2018, and he's already fallen off to this degree that people are not even realizing that he was relevant. That's just sad. That is honestly just sad. Now, at first, people were giving some respect to Smokepurpp because they're saying, hey, even though there were only 20 people at the show, at least he didn't cancel it. He showed up, he performed for his fans, and he was still there for his fans. But people quickly lost this respect because at another show, someone who was there to do some photography was saying that the show was supposed to start at around 7 o'clock. And Smokepurpp didn't actually show up on stage till after midnight, or around midnight is when Smokepurpp was actually on stage. And fans were saying that he only performed 6 or 7 songs. And out of all of those songs, there were maybe 3 that were actually Smokepurpp's. He played a Rick Ross song, he played Look at Me, he played some Lil Pump song. Over half the songs that he played for his performance, he wasn't even in. So he only actually performed maybe 3 of his songs. And he wasn't really even performing. The music was just playing, and he was just kind of standing there on stage. He was barely rapping, barely showing any energy. He just didn't even look like he wanted to be there. And it's also being reported that it took him so long to get on stage because he was backstage smoking weed, making the fans that paid money, their own money, to see him. And these are his diehard fans that don't care that he's fallen off. They don't care that the whole internet is clowning on him. They're still his diehard fans, and they showed up to see Smokepurpp. And he's going to disrespect them like this by making them wait 4 to 5 hours before he even goes on stage, and then he's not even going to give them a good performance. Plus, there were some fans, and you're even having Smokepurpp fans coming out and showing their disappointment in his behavior. And what makes it even worse is you can't even feel bad for Smokepurpp, honestly, because he has yet to humble himself. He is still acting like he is the most relevant rapper ever and how he deserves all this respect. Like a while back, he went on Instagram talking about how he's ghostwritten so many hit singles and all that, which, to be fair, he was credited as a writer on some songs. But man, if you're this good of a ghostwriter, if you're this good of a writer, just ditch the rapping and go into writing full time, because your career is over. There is no bouncing back from this. Most rappers that fall off, they're still able to hold a big enough fan base to where they can still occasionally put out music and make a pretty good living off of it. They made their money while they were relevant, and they can keep making enough money to sustain themselves. But with Smokepurpp, I feel like it's over for him. There's no coming back from this. In fact, he also, in the middle of all this, he went on Instagram and was talking about how he's about to have the biggest comeback of any rapper, which I will give him credit. At least he's admitting he's fell off, which ever since his Florida Jit album sold 5K, it's been over for Purpp. It's been over for Smokepurpp. Like this next album that drops, I will be truly shocked. If it sells 5K, I would consider that a W, because I will be truly shocked if it manages to sell. Hell, if it manages to sell 2,500, that would be good for how much Smokepurpp has fallen off. Because I don't even know if he'll be able to hit 1,000 first week with his next album that he's supposedly trying to hype up. I don't see it making anything. And of course, he's probably going to have more excuses like, oh, the label's doing this, the label's not letting him do that, which you're not making any money. You're not relevant. Your label is not going to help you when you are this irrelevant and you're not even trying to build up a fan base, especially with this disastrous tour. And I just want to touch really quickly on Smokepurpp's social media presence, because if you look at it, all of your class clown, ignorant SoundCloud rappers are blowing up in 2016, 2017. They've all fallen off. And the ones that haven't are the ones that, A, started caring about their music more than their image. They started putting more into their music. They've matured as artists. They've matured as people, because keep in mind, these guys were 17, 18 years old, acting like class clowns, acting all ignorant on social media. All those guys are in their 20s now. You are too big, you are too mature to be acting like this on social media. Because if you look at the other SoundCloud era rappers that have made successful careers, take 21 Savage, for example. He has made a very successful career because he matured his sound. He started making more mature music. He matured as an individual. Same with all of your other SoundCloud rappers that are still relevant. Lil Uzi Vert, Trippie Redd, which of course some of these, they were always serious to begin with. They didn't really rely on gimmicks or social media presence to get popular. But even look at Lil Pump, who fell off and had his last album completely flop, which it's kind of hard to really talk about that album as a flop, considering it was dropped out of nowhere and had literally no promotion whatsoever. I don't know if that was Lil Pump trying to get out of some kind of label deal or what was going on with that. But even Lil Pump has matured to an extent. If you look at Lil Pump now, he is much more mature on social media. Now, yes, he does occasionally do a little social media stunt here and there to kind of spike his relevancy. But compared to the way he was acting in 2017 when he was first starting his career up until Harvard Dropout, he doesn't act nearly as ignorant on social media. He doesn't act like the 5-year-old, I'm the best thing ever, I'm rich, you're an idiot, I'm a big dummy, dumb, but I'm rich. He doesn't act like that anymore. And if you listen to his recent singles that he's actually pushed, like End Away and his new song that came out a couple weeks ago, I can't think of the name right now. All of a sudden, those two songs, lyrically, they're pretty similar to what you would expect from Lil Pump, but he delivers his rapping ability has improved, and he has a more mature delivery style. And that's why I feel like Lil Pump can make a comeback. Do I think Lil Pump will regain the relevancy he had in 2017 and 2018? No. It's possible, but I don't see Lil Pump doing that. But I do see Lil Pump regaining a sense of relevancy to where he has a pretty comfortable situation. Especially, there's been a few shows that Lil Pump has done overseas, and his crowd at those shows is like 3 times the size of these Smokepurpp shows, and Lil Pump is actually bringing energy and actually performing his songs, unlike Smokepurpp. So while Lil Pump is on the cusp of making a comeback, Smokepurpp's career is dead. And like I said, I don't even feel bad for him because he's still acting like he's the hottest thing ever. He refuses to humble himself. He refuses to say, hey, I apologize. I'm going to do better. I'm going to make better music because I care about my fans. He's not doing any of that. While his fans, what few he has left, are sitting there waiting for him to perform. They paid money to see him. He's sitting there backstage smoking weed. Then he comes out, plays like 10 songs. Only 3 of them are his own. And then he dips. How can you feel bad or root for someone who treats his very few fans like that? Which I don't think Smokepurpp has ever cared about his fans. But dude, when you're at this point in your career, when you're only able to pull like 20 people to a show, you gotta start caring about your fans. You gotta start doing something. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up this little discussion I wanted to have here. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this video. Peace.